you doing in here?
I'm trying to change this filter, but this bowl should drain. And it doesn't want to drain. Uh-oh. Okay, well I just let all the diesel out of that. Can you grab it?
Got it.
Got it?
Got it.
Take that up. And the filter's here. So this is our Raycor diesel fuel filter right here, which is supposed to be pretty awesome. We bought a whole bunch of new filters for it. We just haven't got around to changing it yet. I think because of the position we're in here, they got a hose on the bottom for the water drain. So when I opened it up, all the fuel came out and went into the bilge, and I was draining it into the container I was draining it into. I dropped. So now clean up what mess I made.
Last time on Adventure Adrift, we got to do some awesome sailing in sunny weather, picked up our asymmetrical spinnaker and hoisted it on Varuna for the first time, worked on some sewing projects, and had a practice night at anchor and rowing to shore.
Hey guys.
Hello.
So we're just on our way, walking, backpacks in tow.
Go to a grocery shop.
So this is going to be the life going forward, no car.
Cruising life, no car, yep.
A backpack with our stuff to get whatever we buy. And
so in this episode, we cram a ton of last minute projects and errands into our last few days before leaving Portland.
we take a nice 3-day sail down to Astoria when we do leave. And we check out a lot of really cool sights along the way.
Yeah.
It's going to be a long episode, but we promise it's a good one, right?
It will be a good one, yeah.
Right.
Stay tuned.
Hang in.
Open this back up. Watch that O-rings, make sure it stays in. Fill this to the top with diesel. And that is what should give me a good even use there of that filter. So this is our lift pump. So if you listen here, I don't know if you can hear it, but hear that? So I've got fuel going somewhere. So why don't we try and start it and see what happens. Okay, that's got the blower running. All right, let's go ahead and give it a start. Okay. Yeah! Now we're gonna change the oil, which is down here too somehow. We are doing errands, trying to get everything done that we need a car for. Since we soon will not have a car.
We are like T-minus 6 days.
6 days,
right?
Yeah. Till our departure from Portland.
Yep. Little stuff now, but lots of little stuff, but it's coming together, I think.
Yeah. Getting some provisions. We have been slowly transitioning from our old style of grocery shopping where we could walk around the corner whenever we needed a missing ingredient or some fresh produce to more cruiser style shopping. This was our second big provisioning run to get all stocked up with the supplies that we would need to be away from civilization for weeks at a time and still have a variety of tasty food to eat. Now, baked beans.
We do have baked beans on there, right?
Yeah, baked beans we want 10.
How many cans?
10 cans of tomatoes. We spent a lot of time coming up with a plan and system for what our staple items we would keep on board would be. We wanted to focus on cheap, long-lasting, versatile staples that would be easy to find anywhere in the world. Our main staples include lots of dry goods, canned beans, vegetables, fruit, some pre-made canned meals to have ready in a few minutes while underway in rough weather, and some long-lasting vegetables. For our full inventory list of what we plan to keep on board, check out our blog. There's a link in the description below.
Seems like a bigger shop, like the same price. So I'm just labeling all that stuff, just going to take the labels off it. So in theory, you don't want to leave the labels on. That's a good nesting or egg laying place for creatures you don't want on your boat, like cockroaches and stuff.
On a boat, there are tons of nooks and crannies to store things. We are lucky that Varuna has large cupboards behind each settee. We've assigned each cupboard a number and category of food, with an inventory on the door so it's easy to find just what you're looking for. So we are about to take off our staysail, bring it into North Sails to get some stitching done on the UV cover here.
The halyard is going to be really stiff.
It was our first time taking a sail off of a furler, and it turned out to be quite easy. Just undo the shackle at the bottom, release the halyard, and pull the sail out through a little slot, then undo the shackle at the top. We were glad it was the staysail though, since it was much smaller than the Genoa.
North sails.
North sails.
Here we come.
Well, actually, Sombrella is not very good with a brake,
Okay.
so Weathermax might be a better choice.
The UV cover, which protects the sail from the sun while it's rolled up, had taken a bit of a beating and had actually worn through from our Genoa sheets, chafing on it. Our Genoa sheets rub on there and chafe and eventually wear a hole in that UV cover when we tack through or there's a lot of load on it. We can reduce this by improving our tacks, but it will still get some wear, so we'll have to keep an eye on it.
We'll replace the panel and fix that pocket. How's the bottom pocket? It looks probably fine.
Okay, yeah.
Thanks a lot for your help today, Chu. Cheers.
While we'd like to be as self-sufficient as possible while we're out cruising, the section of the staysail that we needed stitched was going through some very thick, solid material, and we didn't have the time or means to tackle the project on our own before leaving Portland, so we decided to be worthwhile to have it done right before we left.
So while our ultimate goal is to sail with a purpose and lend a helping hand, we want to make sure we're doing it as budget conscious as possible, and we're going to be sharing our monthly budget with our supporters on Patreon, so check us out there. Constantly looking for ways to try and save money and be self-sufficient.
So doing lots of little errands today. Got some umbrella scraps that I got from the local canvas shops here. One of them gave me all this huge roll for free. Paid a little bit for this scrap here. And then got some scrap Dacron sail material. Hopefully never have to use that for repairs, but better to have some. We are working on replacing a shackle on our anchor. That pin there, as you can see, is pretty corroded. So we decided to be better to be safe than sorry and replace it.
So I think we've replaced our anchor shackle pretty easy. So we just got this new 3/8 galvanized steel anchor shackle. Thanks for your help on that, Phil. And the seizing wire, which goes on pretty easy.
After finishing with the anchor shackle, we decided to take out our backup anchor rod to inspect and measure it. In addition to our main Bruce anchor, Varuna came with a Danforth anchor and 200 feet of secondary anchor rod.
24, so I would say close enough to 25.
25
Doesn't have to be accurate. 200 feet.
We can use this as a stern anchor or in the event that something happens with our main anchor. So I am here. I'm just about to take the canvas off of our bimini cover. As you can see here, we have a bit of wear and it's actually ripped through the canvas. So I am going to take that off and restitch it.
So we got fed up with these crappy, I don't even know what you call it, they're not really the oar locks, they're the shafts that the oar locks go into. Walker Bay, like everything, is kind of proprietary, I guess. It's a different size and the oar lock doesn't really fit in there. We're going to replace it with this here because we couldn't be bothered anymore.
We purchased a simple oar lock socket and bolted it to the outside of our Walker Bay, and so far it's worked much better for us. I'm just finishing up sewing. Made some little pockets to go. It'll snap into the cockpit up there, and then I'm going to get to work stitching our bimini cover. Got it all sewed up and sewed together. Now all I need to do is install some snaps back here. But snaps another day. Now onto the bimini cover. To sew the bimini, I had purchased some UV polyester thread, which will stand up to the constant sun, but it came on a huge spool that wouldn't work on our machine. My first step in repairing the bimini was to patch the hole that had been worn on it. I made a backing piece to strengthen it, and then stitched it back together, reinforcing the torn spots. And then I'll patch up the top. Alright, so Kai's just cooking dinner over here, watching his football game, eat Oreos. That's what's for dinner.
No, they're empty.
That looks pretty tasty. I am going to unwrap. We just bought the local marine consignment store. We got a stack of quote-unquote South Pacific flags. A few of them are labeled. This one says Vanuatu. So for those of you not familiar with this practice, which we were really surprised to find this out when you go cruising, you have to fly the country's flag that you're in as a courtesy, so you have to carry a ton of flags with you. I think it would be good practice to fly them correctly, not upside down. That probably would be a bit offensive to them. And we want them all, some of these are labeled, but we want them all labeled because it'll be nice to just go through and look for a name, not guess. Ecuador. Yeah, 2 Ecuadors. The yellow is up. Yellow is the quarantine flag that you fly before you check into a country. This one, Marshall Islands, I believe. This, apparently, is Australia. Yeah, this is the Australian nautical flag. You did not know your own country's nautical flag? Costa Rica. Fiji. Tonga. Looks like it says Western Samoa. New Zealand. Is this a New Zealand nautical flag? Cook Islands. This one. Chile. Galapagos. Well, we can't wait to fly some of these flags in new countries. First, we had to finish getting Varuna all ready to set sail.
Back in my little cubby hole. Gonna do a change out oil today. Luckily on this Betamarine 38, the oil pump, sump pump is on the actual engine, so we don't need a pump. I'm just going to attach this to the bottom of the drain cap, and I'll drain this out into a 3.5, 4-quart bucket up there, which should be enough to drain this. And then we'll figure out how to fill it, which is way in the middle over there, so that'll be interesting. And then we'll change the oil filter, which is on the other side. Slowly draining. Alright, we're all drained now to fill the oil.
Good.
Finished the oil change.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of oil, more than I thought it would be in there actually. Probably about
A little under 5 quarts.
Yeah. Change the oil filter that's in there, the old oil filter.
Good job. Welcome to the trash, recycle, and oil disposal.
Bye bye oil.
Bye oil. Dirty yucky oil. Goodbye. It was time for me to get back to work and finish up the bimini cover. I had decided to make a protective guard for it to prevent wear in the future. I used a piece of Top Gun material, which is a very durable acrylic-coated fabric that is extremely resistant to abrasion. Alright, here goes.
Go for it! You can do it!
I sure hope so. I am all done. So, this is our little safeguard. our Top Gun shape guard I sewed on our bimini here. Hopefully I sewed it all correctly and it goes back on. Welcome to our messy cockpit that's all torn apart. Just finishing putting the bimini cover back on after stitching it. And do up the last zipper here. Will be the moment of truth to make sure I sewed everything right.
Worked.
Yeah.
Sail.
Just 2 days before we were set to leave from Portland, we got the call that our staysail repairs were done. We easily reattached the halyard to the shackle on the sail and slid it back onto the furler. We were happy to have it all stitched up and back in time, although it ended up being a very expensive job. We plan to keep a close watch on the wear and possibly make a guard for it.
So we're on our way to get some diesel.
Diesel!
Since we have never
filled up.
never put any diesel in Varuna since we bought her.
No.
And we leave for Astoria tomorrow, so we figure we better fill it up.
We should probably have some fuel.
Yeah, we actually did a manual, we checked the fuel manual dipstick, and it looks like we've got still half a tank,
Yeah,
about 25 gallons. So we're just motoring, which isn't fun, but
we're almost there.
we need to get stuff done today. We're on a tight schedule, we've got a lot to do.
Lots to do.
Hillary said we're almost there. So are you excited to go tomorrow?
Yeah, it still doesn't quite feel like we're actually leaving Portland, but...
It doesn't, but I guess last night I just like to get it done.
Portland.
It's like traveling. Let's get out of here.
Alright, so here's Varuna. It's filled up at the fuel dock here. Hi.
Hey, what are you doing here?
I am sewing a strap on our laundry bag. So, since we are now officially carless, I sold my car this morning,
What?
we have to walk places to do laundry. Or Uber. Anyways, we have to carry a heavy laundry bag wherever we go. There's no more car.
So we need a strap on our
We
bag.
need a strap on our laundry bag. We don't have right now.
And our boat is all torn up.
Yep.
That's per usual. Last minute stuff every day. Pull it apart, put it back together again, find new places for things to go.
Reinforcement panels on so that I can sew a strap on the laundry bag. Departure day was finally here, along with my parents, who were excited to join us for the sail down the Columbia. So this is the nice, beautiful table my dad just refinished for us. Trying to put it back on. It smells nice and varnishy.
Varnishy.
Yeah.
Might put the table down to...
At last, all of our projects were done, and it was time to say goodbye. We were lucky to have a dock full of friendly neighbors who had been great company over the past 4 months, sharing stories, laughs, and advice. But it was time to untie the lines and say goodbye to our slip at D-Dock for the last time. Leaving Portland and heading downriver on the Columbia, there are 2 big bridges. The first is the Interstate Bridge. While this bridge has a lift for the big ships, there's also a secondary channel which has about 65 feet of clearance. The top of Varuna's mast measures only 49 feet above the waterline, so we could sail under without a worry. You want me to call?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. 49 Vancouver, 49 Vancouver, 49 Vancouver. This is sailing vessel Varuna. Over.
49 Vancouver, over.
This is sailing vessel Varuna traveling west to Columbia, requesting an open. Over.
Come on down, I'll get open as soon as I can for you, over.
Copy, thank you. Over.
Nice.
Yeah. Went under the I-5 bridge.
I-5 bridge right there.
Yeah. And now we are waiting for the railroad bridge to open.
Requested an open on the, it's turning, coming open.
Just for us. This other boat's gonna follow, they sped up, they're coming through there.
Immediately following the I-5 bridge, there's a railroad bridge that sits only 39 feet above the water, so we had to request for it to be opened. It was pretty cool to call up on the radio and then watch the bridge open just for you. Right after we came through the bridge, we were met by tons of cargo ships and barges anchored, waiting for their scheduled time to head up into Portland. So, we're just going down the river. We just passed a nice big barge anchored over here.
I don't think it's a barge.
Well,
Sort of a
tanker.
yeah. Some sort of a
It's
ship. I don't know if it's
Glorious Hope ship from Panama. Guys, plotting our course over here. Something like that.
Something like that. How's it going?
Good.
Have to have some.
Yeah, we're gonna have some lunch here. This nice little snack plate. Made up by our crew. Our crew down below made us lunch. Say hi.
Say hi, crew.
Looks like you made a nice lunch. Thank you. Very good lunch. So we are on our way. Journey has begun officially now. Left Portland. On our way downriver, down the Columbia out towards the coast. Just passing Savi's Island right here. Beautiful place.
No sails out right now.
No, there's absolutely like no wind at all.
There's nothing
We
for
got the current.
nothing for our crew to do.
No.
No sails for them
They're on
to
break.
tend.
Yeah, the wind, I think the highest I saw the wind was about 3.3 knots. And then it likes to dive back down to 0. Tanker ship that just passed us. Up there, he's headed to, we pulled him up on AIS, he's headed to South Korea.
How big was that cargo ship's draft?
That cargo ship's draft, 40 feet deep. Crazy.
What's our draft?
Our draft is under 6 feet.
Yeah, like 5'9", something like that.
5'9".
Right? It's very still water right now.
Perfectly so. We just arrived, our first anchorage.
Yeah. Martin Island.
It's a little like lake. The yacht club's here for our Memorial Day weekend.
This is
And
the
over here we
farm
got
to table.
farm to table anchorage restaurant. So we have some cattle over here taking a bath, having a drink. So we're going out. We're gonna do the stern tie up to one of these pilings over here. There were a large amount of boats from a local yacht club here for Memorial Day weekend, and they were all rafted together and then stern tied near shore. So we decided to follow suit and let out less anchor chain scope and stern tie onto an old piling. Probably.
Around there.
Martin Island, one of the many small islands along the Columbia River, is unique because it has a slough which leads up to a large protected lagoon in the center, which used to be used for holding logs. The island is privately owned, but it was fun to explore the waterline by dinghy. So, we are here in Martin Island, in the lake, as they call it. We're gonna go check out the cows. Oh, he's walking. He does. We should have brought some food. Hi there. This one has like stuff all over his head, like he stuck his head underwater. Hi there. Hi guys. Hi. The next morning, we were back on our way. The river offered some beautiful scenery of cliffs, trees, and so many birds. So this is day 2. Have a tiny bit of wind. We're thinking about maybe putting the sails up. We put the sails up and ended up with some really good wind. We sailed up past the port of Longview, Washington, which connects the river to the interstate highway and 2 railroad lines. The port has 8 deepwater terminals for ships carrying steel, lumber, logs, grain, fertilizers, and paper from the Northwest to all over the world. I was fascinated with looking up to see where these ships were going and guessing what they were carrying on board. As we passed through Longview, we sailed under another big bridge, the Lewis and Clark. Built in 1930, it was the longest and highest cantilever bridge in the U.S. at the time, at 1.5 miles long and 210 feet high. So, we have just arrived in Cathlamet. It's about 7 p.m. We just pulled into Cathlamet in the Columbia. A little view here. We had an awesome day. We sailed almost the whole day today, so that was pretty cool. Now we're here, we're gonna go check it out, see what's around. Look at that. Old school, like fishing boats, like stuff with nets on them and stuff. After hours registration. There we go. Cathlamet is a tiny town, and arriving after 7 on a Sunday, there was not much open. We wandered into the brewery, which was closed, but they were nice enough to call around and found a pizza place open for us.
Great, thank you very much.
Yeah. Welcome to Locoman Marina. We're back at Varuna. So we are just out wandering around Cathlamet early in the morning here.
Yep.
Once a bustling center for commercial fishing, canning, and logging, we found remnants of old industrial machinery and even a hovercraft sitting next to the hardware store. On the waterfront, there were old tug and fishing boats and buildings which were slowly being taken back by the river. Up the hill.
The view of
Cathlamet. So this is Cathlamet. Got Columbia River right out here, and then there's Puget Island. And on the other side of Puget Island, we have the main channel for the Columbia River that we sailed up yesterday. Sailed all the way around this island and then came back into Cathlamet. This is a little old town.
Where to today?
Today we're going to Astoria. All the way out that way. Out to the coast. We're just about 20 miles, so we'll have a nice short day.
Over the hills and far away?
Uh-huh. It was time to get back on the river, and we motored our way up the small channel back to the main river channel. Ty worked on setting our course in the autopilot, and my parents and I took in the beautiful view around us. So, what are we doing?
We're coming into Astoria.
We're almost here. Almost done with our first passage.
Lake passage? What do you call it? Is it a passage? I don't know.
Kind of a passage. I mean,
Kind of.
we did 3 legs, 3 days from Portland to Astoria. Yeah, we're almost here. Our new home for about a month.
We've had good wind. We've been able to sail for
Yeah.
only engine for 1 hour today, and that was getting out of the marina was half of that.
Yeah,
and
wind picked up and we
we're
picked the sails
15 knots right now, something like that.
15 knots of
Blowing
wind,
15
yeah.
knots.
We're doing about 5 knots of boat speed, close to 7 knots speed over ground.
7 over ground, yeah. We've got 1 reef in the mainsail. We're getting gusts like 16, 17.
Genoa out.
Yeah, we've got full Genoa at the moment.
As we neared Astoria, the wind really started to pick up, as did the waves. One of the reasons we love Varuna is her cutter rig, which allows us to easily change sails. We furled in the large Genoa and rolled out the smaller staysail, which gives us a much more comfortable and controlled ride in stronger winds without losing any speed. As we continued to sail past huge cargo ships anchored waiting to travel upriver or out across the bar, the iconic Astoria Bridge came into sight. We are just coming into Astoria at the Coast Guard Ship and Maritime Museum back there, and we're less than a mile from the bridge. We had to cut a sheet. We went to tack our staysail and had a really bad override on the winch over here. We're going about 45-50 degrees into the wind, so it was shooting in as tight as we could, and there was no way we were getting the override out. We tried to undo the bowline at the sail, and that was under way too much load, so had to cut the bowline.
Let's test out our new knives.
Our new knives, they worked really well, right?
Yeah.
You like barely touched it and it just went pop.
Oh, Astoria looks pretty. So out that direction is the Pacific Ocean, the notorious Columbia River Bar.
This bridge doesn't open. With a clearance of 196 feet above the water at high tide, even the large container ships can sail right under. We sailed under the bridge and then took down the sails and turned around to motor into the marina, which sits right below the bridge. We've arrived in Astoria. There's the bridge. Nice and windy. We're all tied up. A big thanks to Daniel from Dee's Wicked Cider, who met us upon our arrival in Astoria and greeted us with a case of his delicious craft cider brewed up in Washington. So huge thanks to you, Daniel. Hope to see you and your family out on the water someday soon.
Thanks everyone for watching. Really hope you enjoyed this episode. We appreciate all our supporters, our patrons, our subscribers. You guys are all awesome. You inspire us to make these videos, and we hope we do the same for you.
Yeah.
So give us a like, thumbs up. If you really, really love us and want us to love you back forever, consider becoming a patron.
Thanks for watching, guys, and see you next time.
See you next time, guys. Cheers.
Bye. Thank you to all of our patrons. You too can join us as we sail with a purpose. Click the Patreon logo to learn more. If you enjoyed our video, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And for our latest updates, you can find us on Facebook and Instagram. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.
So the question of the day is, how high can and does a seagull fly?
I say pretty high.
No, there's a bird.
They have a limit. They can't go that high.
They don't have a limit, they just don't want to be that high.
Who wouldn't want to be?
How the heck am I gonna get in here? Ow! Oh. Literally can't fit down in here.
I think we know which way's up.
Which way?
I think it's this way, right?
Maybe it's,
That's up?
yeah, it's a acorn tree.
Or lion. It's kind of like a lion head. Like this is the nose and the eyes
Sure.
and the tail coming. It's a lion.
I don't see that.
France. Not sure if France is part of the South Pacific. French Polynesia has their own flag. They do not fly the French flag.
I'm on the dinghy, but no water.
There's no
Oh,
water.
it's getting rocky.
Uh-oh.
Hold on.
Hold on. I don't know what's going on.
Who was that?
I have no idea.
Don't
There's
know who
weird
that was?
people in this town.